What's up, my brothers? This is Justin with Masonic Improvement. Before I really get into this video, I'm sorry about all the algebra back here. I'm on my conference right now, and I don't want to, I need this later, so I'm sorry. I hope this isn't too distracting, but we'll just push on regardless. What I want to talk to you today is about something called continuous improvement. And I wrote a post about this before. What is it? Best practice for Masonic improvement. And what really got me thinking about this again was I watched a video on YouTube, which I'll share to my Facebook page. And this was Brother Whitmore from Fort Worth Masonic Lodge. And I can't remember the name of the brother that was interviewing him, but when I post it to Facebook, I'll be sure to include his name, just for that recognition purpose. But he was talking about all the things that he did for his lodge, how it was in a poor state, and how over time they started reevaluating everything they're doing and implemented these practices that improved their lodge. And so that's continuous improvement. And I really want to hit on that because I feel as though sometimes maybe when I'm writing about Masonic improvement, I make the videos, I make the blogs. I wonder sometimes if people think I'm coming from like this position of like superiority, and that's not the case at all. I'm a Mason just like anybody else. I come from a lodge much like anybody else's, and if I'm by no means a perfect Mason. There's many things about myself I'd like to improve. There's many things about my lodge I would like to improve. And even about my Grand Lodge, if I had the authority to do it, that I would like to see changed. I'm not just some random guy just on this soapbox just telling you what you need to do. These are all things I try to do as well. So I just really want to get that across. But as far as I'm going off on a tangent here, but as far as like the continuous improvement goes, that's a concept that I was first introduced to when I was studying for my administration certification. And how it's set up is as you're learning to be like a principal. They'll say, well, this works really well, this works really well, this works really well. They'll give you all these suggestions and tools for how to handle different situations, how you can improve your school. And even when I was doing my teacher certification, they'd say, do this in this situation, do this in this situation, do this in this situation. When I was the first teacher, I was like, well, I tried all these things. Like, none of these things work. Nothing's right. And then as I was doing my administration certification, they really pushed the point, you do these things in this situation, but these are for ideal situations. And they even gave the school a name. It was Green Acres University. And basically it meant like, everything's just perfect at this school. Everything's, there's no problems. The school has, it's a great building. The parents are really supportive. There's the students are, really high achieving students, and so forth. And so they'll suggest these things. It's like, but these are all for ideal situations. And really that's kind of what I'm suggesting here. The things that I throw out, don't work for every lodge, and not every lodge has the same situation. And that's really just what I want to get across. And this ties kind of back to the video again, because the interviewer asked Brother Moore, because a lot of the ideas that Brother Moore implemented in his lodge sound, like traditional observance concepts. And when he was asked about this, would you say that you're influenced by traditional observance concepts? And Brother Moore was like, yes, but we kind of picked and choose what worked best for our lodge. And that's really what we need to do with everything. Not just the stuff that I suggest, but the things that anybody suggests. And so, like, a dress code for one lodge may not work as well in another lodge. The types of meals one lodge eats before or after a meeting may not be as feasible for another lodge. The petitioning process, the degree process may work really well one way in one lodge, or really well a different way in another lodge. Every lodge has its own culture. They have their own history. So anyway, the bottom line is something that may work really well for one lodge won't necessarily work as well for another. But the idea is continuous improvement. Keep working to find what works best, and it's just keep trying to raise that bar. So by working to continuously improve our lodges, in our grand lodges, if we're in the position to do so, we will solve many of the problems that are plaguing our fraternity. And I'm not saying all of my ideas will work, and I'm not saying all of the traditional observance ideas will work, and I'm not saying, you know, there's no one size fits all for any lodge. Every lodge is different, but it's that process. The only thing that is one size fits all is continuous improvement, and that is continuously reevaluating all your processes, all your rituals, all your ceremonies, all your degree work, your you know, every aspect of your lodge, reevaluating continuously what's working, what's not, and how can we improve it. And yes, some of these things, if you do this, your lodge may begin to look like a TO lodge in some aspects, and really it's that's probably worth its own video one day. Why all this, you know, why such high quality lodges tend to look like TO lodges, but we'll leave that alone for now. So I suppose I had 2 points to this video. One, I'm just one guy working just like everybody else in the quarries, trying to improve my lodge, trying to contribute to my fraternity in the best way I can. I don't have a perfect lodge or anything like anybody, you know, nobody does. Many of the things I talk about is just things that I've learned through research and have observed other lodges and other brothers talking about. I'm not really as much of a mover or shaker as I'd like to be in my own district, and there's reasons for that I might get into one day, but I'm just using this medium to get the concepts out. And the second really big thing is that we need to continuously work to improve, and that's what I'm doing as a person. That's kind of what I'm trying to do through this medium, through my blog, through YouTube, and but I'm just sharing things I learned through different mediums, because I haven't seen those being shared in these mediums, and or not as much as I feel they should be. And so that's really what I'm trying to do here. But that's really the second big takeaway. You know, we have to just keep working, trying to improve our fraternity, trying to improve our lodges, and one thing that may work for one lodge won't necessarily work for another. But we, as individual lodges, as members of these individual lodges, need to really reevaluate everything and be honest with ourselves and to determine what works best for our fraternity. So anyway, thanks again, as always, for watching my videos. If you would, please, if you enjoy the video, subscribe, share it, give it a like. I love to hear feedback. That being said, what do you think? What do you feel works best for your lodge? Is there any kind of practice that you have implemented in your lodge that you saw done in another lodge? Did it work well? Did it not work well? See you in the next one, guys. My brothers, thank you again, and take care.